The F1 drama continues as Daniel Ricciardo is set to leave McLaren and his teammate Lando Norris at the end of this season. After the news was announced, rival teams have been in a frenzy as they all want to sign the Aussie and win the bidding war. In this video, we'll be looking at what caused Ricciardo to leave, which teams are looking to get him, and much more. So let's get into it. First up, let's look at why Daniel parted ways. As if this summer break wasn't dramatic enough with the whole Fernando Alonso, Alpine, and Oscar Piastri news, we got one last bit of drama in the end when Daniel Ricciardo and McLaren announced that due to a mutual decision, the Aussie would be leaving McLaren at the end of the season. Ricciardo joined the British F1 team in 2021 under a contract of 3 years. However, right before the Bulgarian Grand Prix, both the team and the racer decided to call it quits a year earlier. This was likely due to the terrible performance by the Aussie in the last 2 seasons. For 2022, he only placed in the top 6 once, while his teammate Lando Norris has finished in the top 6 4 times and also got himself a podium. As of this season, the British driver has 57 points in the championship race, while Ricciardo only has 19. However, Daniel did have his moments, like when he led them to their first victory in 7 years at the Italian Grand Prix last season. Daniel posted a video on Instagram in which he announced his parting of ways, but his expressions while delivering the news were just heartbreaking. It's sad to see someone known for their cheery personality to be in a state like this. Just 1 month ago, he had said in an interview that he plans to stay with McLaren till the end of his contract. Guess that's how fast the night changes. In the post, the Aussie racer said that it had been an honor for him to race under the McLaren banner for the past 2 years, but after having many discussions with CEO Zak Brown, he's decided to terminate his contract early. However, he also said that though his time has ended with McLaren, he has no intention of calling it quits with the F1 and will continue to race. The question now stands, for which team? But we'll get to that later, so make sure to stick around for that. Moving on, what was McLaren's reaction? The team principal on the British team, Andreas Seidel, released a statement in which he thanked the Aussie for his dedication and contribution to McLaren. He then also praised his approach to his role because though there were many challenges and hardships on the way, Daniel always showed up with a fighting spirit and brought this positive vibe with him that energized the whole team. Well, we've all seen this, and know Ricciardo for always having a smile on his face. Seidel also highlighted the Aussies' win at Monza last season and that the team will hope that Ricciardo can pull a similar result this year as well for the Constructors' Championship. His now former, current teammate for now, Lando Norris, also had a message for the Aussie. Norris posted the heartfelt message on Twitter with a post-race photo of them after Ricciardo's Italian win, in which Lando came second. In the message, the British racer recalled the many moments and laughs the two shared and wished him all the best for his future. Though it seems like Lando will get the chance to move on real soon, since it's rumored that McLaren has already found their replacement with another Aussie driver. The F2 star Oscar Piastri, who's been making headlines on his own thanks to Alpine, is set to join the British team in the next Formula One season. Now, who's looking to sign Daniel? With a racer like Ricciardo up for grabs, teams have found themselves in this sort of bidding war. According to ESPN, as many as 4 teams have their eyes on the Aussie, which include Williams, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and surprisingly Alpine. Why is Alpine a surprise? Well, they seemed pretty stubborn to keep Oscar, while he himself had no intention at all to stay for the French team. Thus, headlines and drama continued as we saw earlier in the video. But now it seems like Alpine has accepted their fate and is looking to replace the 21-year-old Aussie with a 33-year-old Aussie. That is if the deal goes ahead, because as of now, Ricciardo hasn't made any official announcement. Next up, who will win the bidding war? Well, the simple answer is Alpine. Probably. Out of the 4 potential candidates, Alpine is in the most need of a new driver. Haas will only sign Ricciardo if Mick Schumacher announces that he's parting ways with them, or if Haas themselves feel that they need to get rid of him. The same is the case for Williams and Alfa Romeo because both the teams aren't interested in an immediate star. Instead, they want to invest in a racer who will take the mantle in the upcoming years. With an age of 33, the Aussie doesn't seem like he fits the description so well. Since all others have been kind of eliminated, the only logical option is the French team. Looks like McLaren and Alpine will be doing a swap, but well, there's no confirmation yet, and both teams and Ricciardo will probably be focusing on the upcoming season instead. After all, Daniel needs to prove a point to McLaren for just giving up on him. Now, in other news. First, the F1 chief doesn't expect women drivers for the next 5 years. 20 drivers are currently on the starting grid of the F1, and none of them are women. In a recent interview, the president of the F1, Stefano Domenicali, said that it is crucial for women to be given the maximum support so that they can make it to the F1 championships, and he and the organization are committed to making this happen. However, he also said that unless a meteor strike happens, it's highly unlikely that we'll see a woman race in the F1 for the next 5 years. To date, only 2 women racers have competed in the sport. First was in the 1950s when the Italian racer Maria Teresa de Filippis took part in 5 races, and then in the 1970s, another Italian, Lella Lombardi, took part in 12 races and is also the only female to score points in a race. So it's almost been 50 years, which is honestly pretty disappointing given how far we've progressed in other areas and how far the sport has come as well. F1 are making progress, though, as they continue to celebrate their women's league, Formula W, but according to its two-time champion, we won't get to see another female driver in the F1 because of the power steering in the big league cars. According to Jamie Chadwick, there's a physical barrier that stops racers like her from making it big. Hopefully Stefano will invest a portion of the billions he's making to make the sport more accessible for women. Next, Domenicali explains resistance toward Andretti. Well, another statement from the F1 chief executive has made the headlines as he hinted that he won't let the Andretti team on board for F1. The team is owned by Michael Andretti and his World Championship-winning father, Mario Andretti. The pair were pretty vocal about wanting to join the franchise, but according to its president, the F1 doesn't need an 11th team. Stefano said that he also doesn't approve of this public method of joining the league and that there are certain procedures that must be followed. This caused the former champion to claim that based on how he was snubbed, the F1 showed how they were a Europe-friendly league. Though Andretti was Italian-born, he raced under the flag of the United States, and according to him, that's the reason why his team isn't making it onto the grid. They've also called out Mercedes and Toto Wolff for being dismissive of their plans on how they want to operate outside of US and European bases. This open media approach is quite different to how things are run by the other companies, and perhaps that's why they've kind of distanced themselves. But still, who knows, because Andretti can still make it if they acquire an existing franchise. And to wrap things up, Mercedes is rumored to be making big improvements. The 8-time Constructors' Championship winners were off to a rocky start this season, as they still haven't registered a win. With a new promising racer in their lineup, Mercedes was expected to have a dominant season, but, well, Ferrari and Red Bull had other ideas. Although Mercedes has improved a lot in the July races, there are rumors that after the summer break, they'll have made some pretty significant changes to their car that will boost the chances of Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. The Colombian ex-F1 driver Montoya said in an interview that he came across this news and it seems pretty legit. Will it be an upgrade that will make the two British racers win every one of their Grand Prix? No, but in the technical aspect of the sport, it seems like it'll be quite the boost. Toto Wolff really knows how to play the game. That's a wrap for this video. What was your reaction, and where do you think the Aussie will end up? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.